A short while ago, we brought you a report about the frequent arrests of suspected invaders by Amotekun in Ondo State. Joining us now to look at the frequent arrests of suspected invaders of northern extraction by Amotekun in Ondo State. What is fueling the exodus, what can be done to stem it, and implications for national security is Ambrose Igboke, a security analyst. Good to have you on the show. Welcome to Newsday, sir.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we've heard the news, and it's good that our security services are actively pursuing and finding these criminals, albeit under animals. What do you have to say about the concerted effort that is now being put forward to apprehend these criminals before they get to their final destinations?
Now, the invaders have a free reign because over the years, they are always been mistaken as Fulani. I mean, there is no difference between the Nigerian Fulani and the Fulani from Chad, or the Fulani from Niger, or the Fulani from other Maghreb areas in Africa. Therefore, because Nigeria has a very large border line with these African countries that have a large population of Fulanis, it is not easy to man the place. Therefore, they have an influx of Fulanis over the years. But the difference between now and then was that over the last 40 years, 30 years, when we were all growing up, where we used to have the Fulanis, there were the cattle breeders, the cattle rearers, and they legitimately had a trade where they moved from the Putajalo Island through the cattle routes and they come to Africa, Nigeria, and graze even through the south of Africa, Nigeria. But over the years, we have had some criminal elements infiltrating the headers and then being armed, sophisticated with sophisticated weapons, and being linked to ISWAP, Boko Haram, and even Al-Qaeda over the years, in the recent time. So they have become the criminal elements. Therefore, Nigerians woke up being taken by surprise because the peaceful Fulani people that used to rear their cattle suddenly changed to a group of fearsome attackers and invaders over the years. So what has happened is that because we extended that friendship and openness that were accorded Fulanis over the years, thinking that they were the peaceful ones, it was becoming difficult to differentiate who is the peaceful cattle rearing header and who was the masquerading as a cattle rearer under the guise of cattle rearer while we are committing criminality and the rest. And so because of that, other states now began to feel and notice that the police is overstretched. And our other security agencies have been overstretched because of the sporadic security issues coming up over the states. Before, they were confined to the northwest, where we have the Boko Haram. Now they have spread to the north central, they have spread to the northeast, they have come, towards the southwest. And some of them are even invaded some of the places in the northern part of southeast. Therefore, the Amotekun was, a child of necessity, being born by the security, architecture of southwestern states coming together to fight these invaders. So I'm not surprised that it is yielding results, especially in the aftermath of the overbombing, where because they have had attacks that were not responded to, there were no reprisals, there were no repercussions, there were no arrests, and then they became emboldened and went into a church to, slaughter innocent citizens who were worshiping on a Sunday morning. That is prison. Therefore, the security had to be wrapped up, and that is what has led to this arrest. And I urge the Amotekun and other security to be in concert with the state security actors to ensure that more of these arrests are done. But also, when we are doing this, we must also be careful that the innocent ones are not also banded together with the guilty ones. And that is where the work of thorough professionalism by the security agencies come to play. There have to be proper profiling so that we don't throw the baby away with the bathwater.
Very well said. Now, according to the corps commander of Amotekun, one of his concerns is that even though this group was apprehended, there are fears that some have already made it to their destinations. Now, I'm just wondering what can be done in that regard, because this appears not to be a first case scenario. So what's the way forward in that aspect?
Nigeria, unfortunately, does not have a proper documentation of foreigners. Nigeria does not have a proper documentation of its own citizens. And that is a big problem. It's a huge problem. For example, when last did Nigeria do population census that is valid? It's been over the years. So a country that does not even know the population of its citizens cannot keep tabs on the influx of foreigners. So the first thing to do is through this National Identity Management Commission and through the National Identity Number name, we need to start proper profiling of who is a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then the immigration, our borders are very porous, especially from the northern borders, and even the southern borders. People can just stroll in from many of the West African countries in the name of ECOWAS collaboration and without proper profiling.
Well,
This has constituted a lot of problems. Therefore, the national immigration needs to wrap up its efforts, and also we need to prevent night travel, because most of these people, they come through the night in lorries. They move around in the night, hundreds of them in lorries, unchecked. Therefore, we should try to now start having night checkpoints to find out who is moving trailer loads of human beings in the night. And some of them are concealed. If there's no criminal intention, why are you concealing people inside cow and inside goods? Therefore, these people move mostly at night in trailer loads concealed in goods. This should be checked also. And custom has a role to play here. So operations should be ramped up and ensure that people are checked, especially night travelers. All states should have people at their border points collaborating with the next state to ensure that people who are moving into their states are citizens of Nigeria and are bona fide people who have the authority to stay in this country.
All right, Mr. Ambrose, those are some very good ideas that you have put out there, but I want to follow up with this one. The National Security Council, well, I'm sure you are aware of the discussions about banning motorcycles across the country. Is this also another tactic that might ease the flow or allow us track the flow of some of these criminal elements? Very briefly, because we're out of time.
Well, I think that that's a blanket ban on a motorcycle across the country is not a solution. It's rather a knee-jerk approach, and security has passed that stage. What we are looking at, most of the attacks being carried out by these terrorists are done from the desert and from the forest. So we should employ technology more instead of having a blanket ban. What is the business of the person who is using a motorcycle to run a village errand inside a village in Kogi State, or inside a village in Kano State, or inside a village in Enugu State? The person that may be his only means of transportation. But when these terrorists come, they're moving motion of like 100 motorcycles. So we should deploy technologies like the drone. We should use drone to track out, to map out the motorcycles that are constituting these terrorists that terrorists are using for the attack. Because there's always a long convoy of them. So if you cannot see a long convoy of them, then all these motorcycles running as commercial motorcycles in towns, cities, and states should have some proper identification. Some states have started it. I think Lagos, Anambra also have started it. Other states should follow suit. Mark every Okada, make sure that they are well identified and registered, and make sure the owners are there, so that you can know the criminal elements and arrest them forthwith. But to have a blanket ban on this thing, on the motorcycle in Nigeria, is not a solution at all. It's just a knee-jerk approach. We should deploy more technology to sift out the bad eggs from the good ones.
Mr. Ambrose Igboke, a security analyst, thank you so much for your analysis and for joining us on Newsday.